For many people listening right now, it's the first time they've ever heard of anything called V Friends. And I'm hoping one day all their grandchildren are interacting with the intellectual property. And originally I thought I was doing Disney meets Pokemon, and as I've been on this journey, I realized I'm doing Sesame Street meets Pokemon. And why do I say that? I've become incredibly inspired and motivated by Jim Henson's life. I think he had real agenda with Fraggle Rock and the Muppets and Sesame Street, and of course I knew a lot about him. I'm into documentaries, I've seen stuff. I don't think I realized how much my view on the world is similar. And I think, for example, this new kids book, right? Meet Me in the Middle. It's gonna show kids that patience is a great virtue, but too much patience sounds like laziness, right? And eagerness, the eagle, incredibly amazing, but being sloppy with it is a huge mistake. And so I want to teach people the middle. I think parenting looks like politics right now. It's too red or it's too blue. And I think all the magic is in purple.
Well, in the book, you flip it over and you can tell the story twice. It has two covers and that literally meets in the middle, the two different stories. Was that hard to physically produce? Was the publisher into the idea?
A former creative lead of mine on VFriends, Manny, I think his wife, if I remember right, or someone in his world, had done a Meet Me in the Middle book, and there's probably an official term to it. I always wanted the book to be called Meet Me in the Middle. The story was, so VFriends is, I don't want to eat up all the time on this, but VFriends is a pretty cool IP. Like, I view good virtues as very important. I view bad virtues as something you really should, for your own self, let alone the people around you, work on, whether through exercise, meditation, therapy, reading, surrounding yourselves with different people. I think living a content life is worth fighting for. And so the middle concept was always there. And when I created VFriends, I always thought that like just tenacity isn't enough. I always think of virtues as ingredients. It's like a good meal. I believe my ambition is a big part of why things have worked for me, but quietly, and maybe not as obvious to the outside world, but definitely more obvious to the people that work with me, I would argue that along with my ambition, competitiveness and tenacity, that humility and patience have been equal ingredients to why I've gotten here. And I think when you think about ambition and tenacity and humility, they seem to be potentially contradictions, but I think they're meeting in the middle. Or another analogy I've used is they're bridges, right? They're pulling from opposite directions, which creates strength. So when I created the VFriends, I created 280 characters because I feel like you need multiple traits to accomplish the mission. If I'm gonna help this kid be a happier human, it's going to be accountability and kindness to themselves. And so kind could do an accountable aunt need to be in that cartoon, that movie, that story. So the concept of the kids book was always gonna be multiple VFriends helping teach you that the middle is good, not the edges. And I do believe parenting, society, politics, culture, business, separation of wealth, and many of the things that are going on in our world are an issue right now because we've all broken apart to the edges instead of playing in the middle. And so that was always the agenda.